Hey everyone, welcome to Sauce's Best Catering. I am Chef Charlene Sauce, or to those of you familiar with me, Charlene the Shield. Please remember to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and soon on my blog we'll be offering a paid recipe section and also a teaching class via video that you can sign up for. But in the meantime, be sure to like and subscribe today to Sauce's Best Catering, and on YouTube you'll find me as Charlene Sauce. So hey guys, this is not going to be that long of a video. My hard drive that I save all my videos and pictures on from all my businesses broke about 2 weeks ago. And now my phone is getting full and I don't have anywhere to move my mini files, pictures, and videos. So today we're going to keep this kind of short and sweet. Who else takes notes on what they're going to do? So, today what we're going to be doing, and I'm just facing this way just now, but the rest of it's going to be all kitchen stuff. We're going to make enchiladas today, and we're going to serve those with beans and rice. And when we cook them in the oven, it's also going to be topped with chopped up tomatoes, fresh corn that I slice off the cob. So that's what we're doing, just to give you an idea. And I'm about to start seasoning and sauteing the meat. About to try to remember where the actual tortilla shells and stuff are. Hopefully they're right behind me. And we're going to go from there. So we're going to get to it. So my dog is having a temper tantrum. I'm not sure why. He even got some, he's spoiled, right? He even got some, house food today. I don't know if he just, hears me and wants to be out here in the kitchen. But that's not happening. And for the most part, he's an outdoor dog. We do bring him in every couple of days or so here and there, but yeah, he's pretty much an outdoor dog. Has a very nice dog house that I spent a shit ton for that he refuses to sleep in. Russell's just a special guy. There's no other way of saying it. So, the first thing we're going to do, when I say outdoor though, he's on a balcony, like a patio, because we live upstairs in a triplex. So he is definitely in a very safe, secluded, his own little zone area where he doesn't get dog fights or get hurt or anything, which is great. So, to really build the flavors in my meat, we're going to be using a lot of very interesting things, which I just had set up, and I think I moved them when I started cleaning up. So, hold on one second. Sorry, I was not ready, and I thought I was. One of these days, I'm going to literally have everything in my hands before I start. I don't know when, but one of these days. Okay. So we got some important components here when you're building Latin flavors or Spanish flavors. I just prefer to say Latin, but I realize some people are Hispanic, so Latin's not really what they should be called. And I do not want to insult or offend. So we're going to use some lime sliced up in the flavoring of our meat. And I need a better knife than this one. So bear with me 1 second while I handle that. I always have to choose and be like, I don't know which knife I want to use, but yeah, got one. Alright, I need to get, I've been saying this how many videos now to you all, I need to get a knife sharpener. It is really the truth, and I'm going to get to that. So normally, if you were garnishing or something with this, you cut them all in the same direction, because that would be a lot more important. But since they are literally just going to be for flavoring, they're just going to add a certain taste to your broth. That's not really needed. This can be what we call a rough chop, no problem there. So I'm going to continue chopping up the vegetables and fruit because I forgot my phone doesn't have a lot of memory, so I can't do my usual long stuff. So I'm going to come back and show you what things look like as we keep going. All right. So these are just a few of the things we're putting in. And I'm going to like kind of pressure cook these real quick just to get them done. I'm going to saute my ground beef in a cast iron. So we're going to do a different couple of steps here. I would make my rice in one of my pressure cookers, but I'm going to do it on top of the stove so it doesn't overcook and be mushy. So we're going to not do that today. But a trick to making enchiladas that I had to learn myself at the first time I made them. It is better to fill them and kind of cook them to give them a little bit of hardness to the texture of your shell on top of your stove or in either a cast iron or a cast iron griddler, so that when they go into the oven in the pan to bake with the sauce on them, they don't get too soft and turn to mush. Just a little tip, because that's how we'll be doing this today. And y'all will see that a little bit. But I just want to show you this. We never chop up your tomatoes till last because they lose their flavor. If you wonder why you don't see them, they're going in. But they won't go in until I'm actually ready to start putting things in the oven, because we're not going to twice cook tomatoes because they'll disappear. They'll disintegrate. So that's what we're doing now. So we're going to get this. And your onions are in a very large rough chop, unless you have people who actually like onions. Me and my fiance love onions, but my, daughter does not. So that's how we go. And even though my daughter is currently at summer camp, she'll be home in a few days and she'll be eating some then because I'm making a lot. So yeah, so I'm still making this conscious of her. All right, be back in a bit. Okay guys, so we are now at the step of seasoning and browning our meat to go inside of our enchiladas. And the good thing about this is you can cook it a few hours ahead of time, you know what I mean? And just store it till you're ready to use it. Which is pretty much exactly what we're going to do, because I definitely don't need it yet. I got a lot more steps of this meal to do, so. I still need to get my veggies in the slow cooker. I'm going to do that as soon as I'm done with this. Now, on a normal day, if I really felt like standing here and wasn't also working my other job, I could quite possibly, saute everything together, or at least bring them together and marry them together in the pot. But today I've just decided I'm going to do it this way. This makes more sense to me. And we'll bring them all together in the end. They'll only need to be in that slow cooker, like pressure cooker, like such a short amount of time, also with some seasoning. Alright. So, first thing we're going to get in here is some of my seasoning y'all saw me make when I cooked last time. We're going to get in some of this herb mixture that I myself ground up. And it smells so good. Just love that smell. Alright. I'll close that up. Gotta keep a paper towel on hand because, boy, this stuff is just all over my hands. I take my engagement ring off now when I cook because it's black gold. And black gold gets really damaged by acidic things. And because we're going to be messing with tomatoes and all kinds of stuff. Or sometimes I'm messing with just stuff that's hard to clean out of your ring. I've elected that when I'm cooking, I'm going to get a silicone ring for the days I'm like cooking. I think it'll just be better. So this is what I'm using. And I just want to make sure it's not super spicy. Is Pipian sauce. Or paste. I'm sorry, not sauce. And it is a Latino flavoring. You can buy this or you can buy the adobo that comes like this. But you just want to get an authentic one. That's a paste with some of the oil in it. Good stuff. Really good stuff. And I know people are like, what is she putting in there? Well, in a second, you're going to see. If I can get this to cooperate, that is. Why did it make everything so hard to get into after you paid for it? It's almost like you stole it and it's rigged so you can never use it. So let's get this off without hurting ourselves. Alright. First you want to shake it up really good. This is the Iberia Mojo. Now let me tell you something. I love Badia and Iberia. I probably love Badia's seasonings better. Just a little bit of that. I love building extreme flavors in my meat. Now we got the fresh cilantro for when we actually build these into the enchilada rolls. But to cook, we're going to use freeze-dried cilantro. Okay? Definitely going to use Tajin. Definitely going to use Tajin. That is without saying. Be generous with that. And one of your other main seasonings in Latin food is always cumin. Make sure you get that throughout. It smells, the minute you open cumin, you can just smell the Latin flavors. That's all you got to do is open it and you're just like, yep, that's cumin. All right. So now we're going to increase the heat. And some other things we're definitely going to need in here. We want to use some garlic powder, of course. And last but certainly not least, just a little bit of salt. We don't need much because the other flavors are going to take on their own salt. And we don't want it to be too salty. Alright. So then you want to get something so you can begin moving your meat around. And I'll be back in a little while. Alright, so you see it simmering. I'm about to turn it off because it's done enough. And I don't want the meat to be overcooked and dry. So two of the things I forgot to show y'all that I added, because like how else would it have been red like we want it to be? I forgot to show y'all the smoked paprika edition and the Sazon Goya con cilantro yachote, which is basically, I believe, a red pepper mixture, a tomato mixture, and like some chicken seasoning in there. I believe it's in cilantro. So I tasted this, and this tastes far better than any of those El Paso, and I forget what the other one is. What is the other company that mix all the taco seasons? Anyway, this is 10 times better. So you're better off buying ingredients like this, which I will post on my blog, and making your own mixture. And this is going to be part of the filling for the enchiladas. Enjoy. All right, so we are about to put our chopped veggies, which you see here. Some of them, remember, tomatoes we don't add to things like this. So we're just about to put in these though. We've got green onion going in, fresh chopped cilantro. We've got limes and onions done in a rough chop. I like to do things in a rougher chop so that when people don't like them, they're easier to find and leave off of their plate. All right. We're also going to put in some of these pre-chopped items from the store. I always do that. Like I tend to make my life easier when I can at home anyway. Probably wouldn't do that if I was cooking a large amount for other people. But when just cooking at home, if you want to simplify stuff, then you buy some of the things that were made at the store. So we're going to carry over our flavor. We're going to put some Tajin in here. Not as much because we have a great amount of that in the meat part of the filling already. And I'm going to cry because I'm getting low on my smoked paprika and I have to order it from Amazon, then wait for more to get here. And it's one of my favorite things to cook with. So this sucks a bit. So we're going to try not to use too much of that either. Smoked paprika and regular paprika do not have the same taste. Don't let people tell you they do. Golden saffron. Saffron is the most expensive season in the world. This is not super, super expensive. These, I believe, were $20 a can, but sometimes really, really pure saffron can be $150 a can. Like, it's that important. So you just use a few sprigs of it because it's too expensive for you to be dumping it all in there. It's an aromatic, meaning it gives a certain smell and taste to your food. That's just awesome. And then the last thing we're going to put in here is some more of my herbs and seasonings that I made my special mix last week. And I wrote it down, hopefully, so I can continue to make this. Might eventually sell it to someone. Oh, exciting news. Well, I haven't been. I got asked to be interviewed for a Baltimore magazine article as a chef. And I submitted all of that, my pictures, yesterday. So pretty excited about that. I don't know when it'll be out, but I'll share the link on my site when it is. So I'm about to cover this up and let it do its thing, and then we'll be back. Thanks. All right, guys. So my angle's off right now. I'm running out of space like crazy today trying to do all this. So hopefully we can get this, and you'll be able to see at least most of it. I'm doing my best. Bear with me. All right. So we definitely want to put some garlic cloves in. So right now what I'm going to do is simmer the tomato part of the filling, like the sauce that we're also going to add that use for the meat, etc., etc. I hate opening cans. It's like so annoying to me, but here we go. I need to get another electric one. I had an electric one. I'm going back to that. I know it's kind of lazy, but my fingers suffer from psoriasis, so I try not to overexert my hands and make my joints and stuff hurt. So we're getting the tomato paste in first. Like so. So that's 1 can. That's Contadina, but you can use whatever brand you like. But this is what I'm using. And this is weird. My videos have been filming correctly lately, and now this one's backwards again. My phone did update, though. I think that's what causes that. I wish I had noticed it before I started filming this video, but I didn't. So I have to go into my settings and fix that next time I film a video, because now what that means is my partner has to do the editing and turn everything around so you all can actually read it. And we like to avoid that because both of us already have so many other things to do. Like, I try to keep the video making process as simple as possible, but can't always have what we want. So this week we're gonna have to do some extra steps. All right. So basically all I'm doing, because again, short on space on my phone, we're going to add some crushed tomatoes. These are Hunt's crushed tomatoes. And we're going to add these very small cans of tomato sauce, because we don't need a lot of tomato. We don't want this soppy like a salsa or pasta. But we do want enough of it that the flavors are throughout the meat when they're the filling. All right, so I'll be back in a bit. All right, guys, so we are back. And just showing you, we've got our mixture. I already explained what's in here. We're going to get this simmering on some heat for a while. We got some garlic cloves in here. And we're just going to remember to cook anything tomato on a low simmer. A, so it doesn't like make a mess in your kitchen. And B, just because that's all it needs. Alright? So what I'm about to do now, after I cover this up, is I am about to get the fresh corn off the cob and just have it already set aside in a bowl. So when I'm ready to build the dish, we are ready to go to get it in the oven. Alright? So I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so we're getting ready to take this corn off the cob and get it into a bowl. You just run it down like this. I hate doing it because your corn always just goes spraying everywhere. So try to go slow so you don't lose it. Really and truthfully, I'm going to do it inside of the bowl so it can't escape. And so it just makes life so much easier than this. But you get the point, right? You're just going to go down with your knife and get it on in there. I'm sorry. People talking to me online and I'm working. And there's just a lot going on today. I didn't feel good yesterday, so now I'm playing catch up all day. So I'll be back in a few. Alright, so I got some of the corn here. Of course, you still see the strands of hair from the husk. I really need to get one of those brushes that you just brush the comb away. But what I'm going to do is add water to this bowl, wash it, and hopefully most of this stuff will just kind of float to the top. And we'll get it off that way. I buy corn like this often, and this is the first time I've seen it come like with this much hair on it. Like, this is crazy. This grocery store is just a nightmare anyway, and I'm not going to get into any of my reasons for saying that, but yeah, it can be disturbing in there once in a while. Things can be out of sorts. So we're doing it in the bowl, like so, in hopes of not losing any corn. I did just see a couple of kernels go flying away though, so, you know, you do your best, but you're still going to lose a few pieces of it probably. I don't know how. My grandma used to do this without corn flying away, but she certainly did. That's who taught me how to do this, but I'm just not as successful without losing kernels. But there you go. We're going to keep it going. We're going to wash it to separate the kernels from the husk hairs, as I call them, and we'll be back a little later. Okay, so we're back, and I am about to just do a rough chop of the tomatoes and the peppers that are going to go. Okay, this is a bit weird. You know what? I think I put it all in the same thing. My bad. So we're just going to do a rough chop, and you're looking at the wrong stuff. There we go. Of the tomatoes and the peppers that are just going to be on top along with the corn as we get ready to get our enchiladas in the pan. This is just a rough chop. It's kind of a flavoring only thing. If someone decides they want to eat one of the peppers, great. If they don't, they were there mainly just to build flavor anyway. I wish you all could smell how great it smells in here. It smells absolutely divine and wonderful in here after cooking the other veggies in the pressure cooker. Oh my God, you can just smell every herb. It smells so good. And instead of putting those in the enchiladas, we're going to put it so that other people can. Now, normally, if I have people who don't mind all those herbs and stuff in the enchilada, I put it in there. But today, what we're going to do is serve it as a side. And if you decide you want to top your enchilada with it or your rice and beans with it, you can. But I'm going to go back, and now we're just getting ready to do 4 beef eater tomatoes. Beefsteak. Beef eater tomatoes are bigger, and I prefer those. They're just so big. But these are beefsteaks. They're a little smaller. So I'll be back, and probably the next thing you'll see is me grilling the tortillas so they don't get mushy and soggy once we add the other things to them once they go in the pan. Be back in a bit. Alright, so a little trick. When using one of these griddlers, you don't want the oil to run out to the sides and start a fire. So pour a little small dot, and with a clean, fresh paper towel, rub it around like this. This way your hands don't get oily and you don't have too much oil. So we're about to turn this on. Because we are going to get that hot, and we're going to begin building our tortillas. And of course, just never have enough space. So this is going to be tricky, but I'm going to make this work to the very, very best of my ability here. So we're gonna get a spatula and some tongs out because it'll make our lives easier. We're gonna get the tortillas ready to go. My fiance, and actually most of my kids' things too, even though they're not home, one of their favorite foods is Mexican. I mean, like, they love it. And that makes sense. Like, who doesn't love Mexican food? Or Spanish food. Like, that and Italian are just yum. So, I'm going to start getting these on, right? I need to get my cheese out, because that's going to be important at this juncture. So let me do that also. Today has been a day, guys. Like, now I'm standing here and I'm like, what did I do with the whole bag of cheese earlier? I got it. Whew. Hate that. Hate when my brain just checks out. Alright. So the tongs are for flipping your tortillas, alright? Just so you know. And I am using Mexican blend cheese. Alright? And to start my enchiladas, I like to put just a little bit here. I'm just going to show you these first two because, as I've mentioned, my phone memory is getting hella low. So, you know, I'm going to keep this moving here. Alright. Then what we're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to spoon in some of your filling. Just like so. Alright. Think of it as like making a burrito. Only you're not going to fold the ends up. You literally just fold these the way they are. You just roll them. And they're going to go straight to a pan. And then they're all going to bake together. Making a mess. Last thing you're going to do, some tomato. As much or as little as you like. I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't splatter everywhere. Same thing here. Alright, and we're going to do this to each enchilada so that they're somewhat crispy when they're going into the oven, so that they don't just absorb all the moisture from the other things. So it's going to take a few minutes for these, but you get the point of what we're doing here. A little cheese, your filling, your meat filling, and then a little sauce. Then we're going to roll them and we're going to get them ready to bake in the pan. Simple. Easy peasy. Another thing you want to do real quick before I forget, take the bottom of your roasting pan, get your dress out of it obviously, and you want to spoon in some sauce into the bottom of the pan. This will help ensure that your enchiladas are not going to stick to the pan. Just smear it around on the bottom like so. Alright? You just want to do that like so. Alright. The last thing you'll do before you get these two enchiladas that have been cooking, well, searing a little bit into your pan, is also add some cheese. It'll keep the bottom from being so wet that it makes for soggy enchiladas. I know you can't see what I'm doing, and I apologize for the angle. But I'm explaining it as I do it, because I have very little space, all right? So I'll be back when I show you the whole pan filled up with it. Okay, my darlings, we're back. You see I've got all my enchiladas rolled to make them nice and firm so they can hold up to the sauce. Now the next thing you do is your cheese. For those who weren't paying attention earlier, I put some sauce and some cheese at the bottom of this too to keep them from sticking to the bottom. These are double stacked. You can put a row of cheese in between each layer, but I just did this like this. Make it as cheesy as you want it to be. Okay? And for the first like 30 minutes when you put them in the oven, you're going to put them in covered because you want the cheese to melt but not get too brown. And then you'll come back and add other things. So, let me get a couple of other items that are going to happen here. Remember that corn and all these other veggies I chopped up? Now's the time for them. Put your corn on. Tried my best to get all that husk out, but wasn't very successful this time. But if you eat tamales, you're used to eating the husk, right? But yeah, I would have preferred that this corn not have all that, but without a brush, just did the best we can do. But if I was cooking for someone, I definitely would have done a better job of getting those out. I gotta remind myself to buy a brush. But this is white sweet corn, all right? Don't really want to waste it, right? So just go on and get it in there. Like so. Okay? This is my way of doing enchiladas. Everybody has a different way, folks. No two ways are right or wrong. No judgment. You make yours how you make them. It's hot with tomatoes. We're going to let the tomatoes roast. Actually, you know what? We don't need to put them in that long because we don't want the we want the tomatoes to actually dry out, not get wetter. And we have more sauce ready on the side. We have store-bought salsa verde. We have store-bought salsa. Normally I make my sauces, but I don't have it in me this week. And then we have the red sauce you saw me make earlier. So we have a variation of sauces that people can use when eating this. We still got some tomatoes available to sprinkle on the sides of people's plates. So there it is. And if you want to, just to give the tomatoes a little flavor or whatever, don't use more salt, but you can use just a little more Tajin. Just sprinkle it on there lightly, like so. And we're going to get this in the oven. We're going to let it start to roast. We'll be back soon. So I wish I could put into words for you how happy my family's going to be with dinner today. I'm really proud. Y'all know I used to use my basmati rice. Pardon my dog. He was quiet all this time and now he's back at it again. Not sure what his deal is, but I think he's just smelling everything in here and driving him crazy, bless his heart. But garlic is fatal to dogs and everything contains garlic. So he cannot have any. Russell, stop. Alright. So, you want to measure your rice. Get a big enough opening here to get our measuring cup into. Russell, no. Sorry, y'all. Alright. Big enough cup. Too high of a pour, splash it everywhere on the oven. We're just going to ignore Russell. I meant to oil the pan first. See, Russell driving me so crazy because we are going to get us a little fry first. So I'm going to use 2.5 roughly cups of dry Iberia Spanish grade rice. And sooner or later, he's going to get tired when he realizes he's not getting his way. It's kind of like a toddler who's throwing a fit. Okay, so we'll put that up there. And one second. I am going to talk to him. One moment. I'm back. So hopefully we have appeased Mr. Russell. Turn this up now on a high flame. First, I'm coating all the kernels in some oil. Oh, child, that dog is something else. Coating it all in some oil, like so. And once it gets a little brown to it, we'll start adding our other things. This doesn't take long at all. This is like literally the quickest process. So I will be back again in just a second. All right, so we're back. Just had to check something on my phone so you can hear that lovely sizzle. Russell has decided to be quiet. Small win, small victory. Ooh. We're going to use some coconut milk in this too. And today we're using the Goya black beans. Goya black beans. I have been known, as y'all saw my baked beans, to do my own beans. But honey, all that was not happening today. Just wasn't gonna. So, it is what it is. I'm getting my other things set up for when I'm ready to serve. We have Salsa Verde. And we have Picante Sauce medium, which is also a Salsa Verde. And then we have a red salsa over here as well. So while this is finishing its little fry up, I'm going to set these over here. And of course, we also have Pico de Gallo, store-bought Pico. I know how to make it. Wasn't doing that today. Sometimes we use easy methods. But I don't think it's fair to use easy methods when someone's paying you for like a fine dining experience as a chef. I think when you're cooking for like, you know, a small party, or even if it's a larger party and they expect a 5-star experience, everything should be like super fresh. You should be doing your beans yourself, even if it takes you a day or two. Like everything should really, really, really have your heart in it. But for cooking at home on a day like today, this is fine. I'm at the point now where I can put my ring back on. Again, wedding date May 14th, 2023. We're already starting to look into our vendors and get everything together. So there's that, and I'm pretty happy about that. So. I need to go to the store and get some Cervezas beer. For those of you who might not know what that is, but I hope you know. If you're over 21, you should know what Cerveza is. My favorite, a lot of people love Corona when it comes to their Spanish beers, but I actually love Dos Equis, or Modelo is my absolute favorite. Modelo, hands down. But now you want to be fancier, then you're not serving Modelo, you know, but I actually love Modelo. I get a lot of compliments on this dress. It's like a floor-length, pretty sundress. Well, not sundress because it has sleeves, but I got it from Eloquent. I don't know if they still have this one or not, and I also have a matching kimono jacket to it. But yeah, this is from Eloquent. And so at this point, we're going to turn it from high to 5, and we're going to get our coconut milk in. Stir it. Stir it as you go so it won't thicken up, curdle, and be crazy. Alright, so you got that in. Make sure you get it all in there. Now we're going to start adding our cups of water. Still stirring and keeping this moving. 1. Keeping it moving, keeping it moving. 2. 3. 4. And a little more. If you need more, you come back and you put more. Remember, you usually want to do double the amount of water for the amount of rice. Very similar to when you're making pasta and you do double the amount of eggs for the amount of flour you measured in. Same kind of system. I'm going to throw this away. And the last thing we're going to add before we cover this up and let it cook a little bit is our Sazon Goya con Cilantro Guachote. Okay? This stuff gives such a pretty color, and the flavor is light but really tasty. I used it earlier in the meat for the inner enchilada. And I like to build layers of flavor, and this is a way to do it. So we're not going to watch a pot boil. Old people tell you that to burn your dinner too. Like it's bad luck when you're cooking to watch it boil. So we're not going to do that. But once this rice becomes fluffy enough, almost to the point where it's done, but not quite done, we're going to add our black beans to it. All right? And I'm not going to add the salt to it until I add the black beans to it so that I know exactly how much salt is in there. I find that rice cooks faster when you cover it with a lid. So I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. I need to check on my other job anyway, and then I'll be back. And I still need to get up my surf and turf video from where I cooked Sunday. Sorry about that, but I'll get it up, guys. All right. All right, my loves, we're going to get into some plating. So the first thing we're going to do when you have something runnier is we're going to put it in one of these lovely babies that we also cook dessert in. Let me try to get a better pour here. All right. This is a Picante sauce. And we're just going to stick that in the bowl like so. All right. Watch me work, folks. So, you know, usually when you go to a Mexican restaurant, there's a bed of lettuce. We're going to do shrimp to set the other things on top of. I feel like it's just a prettier presentation. We'll do a little bit of, did I say shrimp? I meant spinach. I'm tired, y'all. Let me turn this more so you can see what's going on. All right. Close that up. Set that there for a moment. All right. We have Pico de Gallo. Now again, like I explained earlier, of course I'm going to make all these things from scratch. But this is just quick and easy home cooking. Not that quick because the enchiladas did take work. So it's not all easy, but a good portion of this is actually really easy stuff. Okay, let me get a spoon. So we're just going to spoon some of your Pico right there. Give them a nice little serving of Pico, like so. The next thing is going to be your little bit of sour cream. A nice dollop. More for people like me who really, really love sour cream, but my significant other can take it or leave it, so we don't need to put too much on. We are making a mess, aren't we? So we want to wipe as we go. Just clean things off as we go here, okay? The next thing up is going to be some guac. This is guac dip. The grocery store did not have any. Normally I make my guac, I don't care what's going on. They did not have any ripe avocados yesterday, so this is where we're at. Well, this actually tastes good, so I'm not mad at that. But normally, fresher ingredients are always better. So, you know where you can get fresh, try to do that. And then you just garnish this with some pinches of fresh cilantro, right? I'm going to take these two over because we're going to put our other items on. I'm sorry, guys. Taking a little longer than I would like to get back over there to you. Bear with me. And my dog has decided he's going to act crazy again. In true Russell form. Just cleaning off my plating over here. We want a good presentation always. You know? That's important. Alright. So, we have these. He is really acting crazy. And then the one last thing I love to do when I'm serving something like this, and we are about to sauce these plates too, is lime. Just on the plate to make it really, 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 really pretty. You know, you can't go wrong with that, right? And give your lime just a very, 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 very light sprinkle of Tajin. And now we're gonna go for the sauce. I'm so sorry my dog is acting like this, y'all. This is Verde, because my significant other is a Verde guy. So you just want to get a good drizzle of that on there. All right. So now I'm gonna turn this around. I'm gonna get a pick, and I'm gonna film the all complete video to show you guys. Be back in a minute. Here we go, the enchiladas. Look at that, with that fresh corn, the lime, a little bit of pepper. I wish I could just exclude my dog's noise, but you know, I'm serving plates, so we're just gonna have to work through him. We got the beans and rice, the store-bought guac dip, because the avocados they had at the store were not fresh. Sour cream, Pico de Gallo, Picante Sauce. I mean, it don't get no better than this. I'm so sorry my dog is ruining this. But look at that. Yum.